Steve Jobs created the term because the whole idea was that they were broadcasted to your iPod podcast. So, and then he died. So now we're
stuck with
Innovator. Yeah. I don't know how to start this, man. This shit is
that's the thing.
It's getting hard.
I know. Do we go? Like I said, we pick a path. We pick energetic and crazy, or we're laid back. We gotta pick. We gotta pick a path.
What about somewhere in the middle?
Okay.
I think that's good.
Okay, ready?
Welcome to the Joystick Show!
That hurt my throat a lot.
Oh my god! I mean, that's like the perfect.
That's actually
Thank you, Bobby. That was actually a really good intro. That was really good.
If anybody could fucking actually understand what I said, I'll put some subtitles. What I said was, welcome to the Joystick Show.
I think they heard it.
Episode 212. Having a good time here. Let's get it right out of the way.
Yeah.
If you want to help us out here, go ahead and like this episode of the Joystick Show. Go ahead and subscribe to your boys and sit back, relax. We're going to talk your ears off for 40 minutes about some stuff that we've been doing and some stuff that's been done to us. Mm-hmm. That also being said, let's address the elephant, or rather the lack of the elephant in the room. Jerry is not here today. As you all know, election season is coming down to a close, and he's writing his speech.
Oh no, I thought he was at the Democratic National debate.
No, exactly. He's
He's
practicing.
there.
He's getting ready. He's not there yet.
No, he's at the hotel. Yeah,
he's
yeah.
at his house. He flies there pretty soon.
Oh,
And
okay.
he's getting ready. He's prepping. He's got to pick a really good tie.
Yeah, he's flying first class, baby.
Exactly. So that's where Jerry is president.
Honestly, now that I'm thinking back to he went to that work thing in Georgia, I'm like, kind of suspicious.
Yeah, right?
It's very
sounds like he was getting some work done.
sounds like he was doing some underground bunker things,
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, President Jerry is not with us this week.
Mm-hmm.
He is doing important stuff in New Jersey with Vice President Jose.
Nice.
God,
Jose Biden.
What a terrifying thought. What a terrifying
What if I started
thought.
calling Jose Biden? How would he feel about this situation?
Stop.
We all get on that.
Would he be positive? Would he be negative?
I think he would just tell you to stop right then and there. Like, quit while you're ahead.
I'm gonna do it.
Stop.
I'm gonna
Quit
start
while you're
it.
ahead.
I'm gonna start it.
Well, I start doing it with you. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, someone say Biden.
Listen,
He would get mad at that. Yeah.
we have tons of ways
Yeah.
we can go.
Can I start? Can I start?
Honestly,
this podcast?
go for it.
Can I
There's
start
always a
this-
fucking mosquito when
And
we
I
do
never
this
kill it.
podcast.
Yeah.
For the past like 3 episodes.
I believe it is the same fly that is at my fiance's house, and it is the same fly in my bathroom. Of
So
weirdest
it's following
following
you.
you.
Yeah, I think it is.
You dirty fuck.
I think I'm dirty, and I have one fly. That's like, I like this stink.
He just loves you.
Yeah.
You know?
It's kind of weird.
That a fly loves you.
Yeah. Can I start? I'm starting,
Yeah,
right?
go ahead.
You were allowed to start
yeah,
before
woo.
the fly discussion.
Woo! All right, everyone. Let's give a moment of silence or a round of applause for the 2024 World Series champions, the Los Angeles Dodgers.
I'll give him credit where credit's
I'll give
due.
it credit.
Despite having 4 of their 5 starting pitchers injured, which is a thing I didn't even know that the Dodgers
Didn't know
had.
that either.
But the Dodgers beat the Yankees in 5 games.
Yeah, they destroyed. I can't say swept, but they.
And I looked at the numbers, and they finished with, I believe, the same team ERA, which is like pitching, the main pitching stat, and the same amount of runs scored, which kind of also might sting a little bit that you only won one of those games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not happy. This was literally like the worst case scenario. It was the team that beat the Mets versus the Mets rivals.
Yeah.
That also beat the Mets in the World Series, and we didn't get a rematch. But yeah, now we can move beyond that sport.
Yeah,
That
which
sport-
we will in a second. But
that-
first, I want to talk
No,
more
we're not.
about the
We're not going to
sport.
move on yet.
Yeah.
But what were you gonna say?
No, I was just going to say, first and foremost, also, round of applause to the 2024 Mets. They
Yeah.
looked great this year.
They
got, not only did they get me back into baseball, they got my parents, but most specifically my mom into baseball. My mom...
Everyone's moms went crazy.
My mom went crazy
My
too.
mom watched every game of the NLDS, NLCS,
The New York
and the
moms.
World Series to completion, to the point where this woman was staying up late to watch the end of these games. And I was like, I asked her yesterday. I was like, "Do you like baseball?" And she's like, "Yeah, fuck with it." And I was like, "Bet." In fact, what she told me is she likes the fact that it's faster now. She feels like she can actually sit through a game and finish
Exactly.
it.
And even then, baseball is that kind of sport where it's just two dudes having catch, so you watch when you want to watch.
Exactly,
I mean, that's
yeah.
all.
You just
that's the
watch.
beauty of it. Like the
Tune
fact
in
that
when the runs get high.
like I know that we said we were going to stay on baseball, but like now that the baseball season is closed, and then in February I'm going to get hype again, right? Because it is a very long season in terms of like length. I don't know, hockey might be longer,
I think
but
basketball's the longest.
basketball and hockey are both like the longest date to date. I
Because
think
they only have like 2.5 months off. So.
yeah, but baseball has the most amount of games because they play 162 games, so that shit's a fucking trek.
Yeah.
So we'll visit that another time. And now I'm watching all these other sports, and man, you have to fucking watch it. And I get it, but with hockey and basketball, it's like that. Like you got to follow that shit.
Hockey's hard.
Like football, I feel like that's why Americans love baseball and football, because it's like you know where the ball is. It's always there. You know what I mean? It's always in that spot.
But what's funny about like it's funny also. It's just also kind of interesting the fact that in 2024 we had both the Mets and Yankees make it to the like the Final Four, and then we almost had that same thing happen last year with the Rangers and the Islanders, where like they almost met. But point is, I remember when that happened, it was very, like, the only time in my life I tried to follow hockey. And I remember texting Dylan, like, I can't see the puck. I don't know when they score goals. I don't know who has it most of the time. It's like, what the fuck?
America is going to be never in on hockey. Like, this is my big prediction, that hockey
I don't
is...
think it never felt like that.
No, because hockey is huge in Canada, and it's also becoming very huge in other places, like Europe, Russia, even China. People love, because now there's a Chinese hockey team now. But yeah, so it's like it is expanding. It's just weird because it's like you have to like it's super difficult. I mean, in person, that's why I like going in person, because it feels so much slower. In person, you're like, you see where the puck is. Dudes are just fucking colliding in the corner every like minute. You're like, what the what? This is because like when you watch it in like on TV, you're kind of like, you're not over top, but you're kind of like off to the side a little bit. It's kind of weird, and it's like the camera tries, but you really can't track
tricky.
a puck. It's very hard.
What's the Chinese team name?
I don't remember, but it's part of the KHL, which is a league that goes all the way from the Czech Republic to China and Russia.
Got you.
So
Because I think
it's like a huge league.
I think the Mighty Duck Sauce would be really fucking good if you didn't catch my drift. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the way they should go there.
I was gonna go with the San Jose Shark Fins, but I think yours is a little more racist.
Yeah, got it.
It was witty.
Sounds good.
It was witty.
Jesus
Fuck
Christ!
it. But yeah, shout outs to the Mets. And also, I was just gonna say, you know what? I'll get back to that later because it kind of goes into another topic I want to talk about in a bit. But I do want to go from baseball to the sport that we mentioned is now. And that is basketball.
Yes.
Feels good. We're like 2 weeks in or something like that. All the teams have been playing. And I just want to say right off the bat, the Nets look good, man.
I wish I recorded you 2 to 3 years ago when you said that the former Nets coach was a good coach.
Jacques Vaughn.
That you said he was good.
So yeah. So I have to.
This is a good fucking coach.
Jordi Fernandez is the best coach I have seen.
He's
better than Nash.
on the court. Have you seen him?
He got his first technical the other day. I was so happy. So let me explain something, right? And this is important.
Okay.
You've seen basketball games, I assume, before.
We went
passing,
to one.
right?
We went to one.
Coaches are typically very involved, right? And I'd argue I want to see that out of a coach because it shows that they care and it shows that they're passionate about what the fuck is going on, right? Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't say it's common, but I would say some of even the best coaches in the world get teched up from time to time. And what that means is they usually do something offensive enough where the referee gives them a technical and awards their team a foul. Maybe they curse or they yell or just do something obscene, right?
Yeah.
For a very long time, Brooklyn was coached by this guy named Steve Nash, who was also a very famous player back in the day, like literally one of the best to ever do it. He didn't get ejected from a game until his last game as a coach on the Brooklyn Nets. Like his last game of playing, he got double teched, got ejected. He also sucked.
He was coached for like 2 years and
we never saw him again, but he was mostly like calm for the most part. Then we got a guy named Jacques Vaughn, who I used to like.
Again, another former player, except being instead of one of the best in the world, not one of the worst. He was bad.
He was very like no one really knew him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He played for like 15 years, but no one.
But like the best way I could describe it, Joey, is it was like if you had a poet be the coach. You know, he was like this very soft-spoken guy.
You know, we're really trying to.
You know what I mean? But just like, but now we got a coach named Jordi Fernandez, and this guy is involved. Like, as far as he can go on the court, stepping on the court, like I love to see it. Getting held back by the assistant coaches, and that's just like the beginning of it.
Like the movie coaches that are like, like
yeah,
really
like
involved.
Well, a lot of basketball
the world's
coaches
best coach.
are like that. Like basketball, I don't know what it is, but it's like since it is so much about like the X's and O's that like the coach is like yelling. He's yelling like whenever they're inbounding, he's yelling plays at the actual guy. Because when you don't have a timeout, you can't call the play, so you should yell the play at the fucking player, which is insane. But like you watch like a Knicks game, and the Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau, he's screaming.
Yeah,
you're like, what the fuck?
How do you think he lost all that hair? Like, you fucking kidding me?
He's yelling.
But yeah, no, the Nets look absolutely great, and that's coming from the perspective of someone who thought they were not going to be that great going
They were picked
in.
one of the worst
Didn't
teams.
like they were projected to be the worst team.
Which
I
is
didn't
silly.
think they were going to be the worst
So
at
silly.
all. But you know, granted, they've only played like what 5 games at this point. Like they, in my opinion, they look like they could easily get into the play-in tournament if they continue this up. You know, if they stay healthy and Jordy keeps doing whatever the hell he's doing. But just a quick look back on it, they open against Atlanta. They lose that game, but it's like 4-point difference. They had a pretty poor showing against Orlando, which to be fair is a better team. But then Paolo Banchero literally just got injured. He has like a torn oblique, so he's out for an indefinite time. So sucks for them.
Paolo was going crazy.
Third
too.
game we play against the Bucks, right? Was that the third game?
That was the home. No, did they play the Grizzlies first? Or they played the Bucks
no.
first?
We played the Bucks first.
Yeah.
So we played the Bucks.
You went to that game.
Go to that game. Giannis is healthy. He's on the court. Brook Lopez is healthy. He's on the court. Damian Lillard healthy on the court. Only person not playing, Chris Middleton. And we fucking won.
I said it, bro. I said it wasn't gonna be.
First
bad.
of all, I was very happy to be there. What an experience. It was one of the best times I've had at the Barclays Center. I went in and I told everybody, I went in with this like really poor perspective or poor outlook where I was like, there's no way they're going to win this, but I'm just going to go enjoy my time, cheer on the Brooklyn Nets. And quarter after quarter, I was just like, bro, what the fuck? Not to mention former baseball players Bernie Williams played the national anthem on electric guitar.
That's amazing.
Which is funny as fuck. I didn't know he's a musician now.
Yeah.
And then for the halftime show, they had ASAP Ferg come.
Oh my God.
And I'm literally just there like, ride with the mob, hamdulillah. And nobody else knows who he is. I'm like, this is fucking Brooklyn. Can
That's
you like
hype.
show some love for the man? But point is, it was an amazing experience. It was really cool to watch the Nets win a game I did not think they were going to win against a team that won the championship 3 years ago. And then the next game, they faced the team that won the championship 2 years ago and almost win. Like, we go to overtime. Granted, in my opinion, Dorian Finney-Smith kind of lost that for us a little
100%.
bit. Missing free throws and missing a three-point shot that would have won
And
it.
it's just Jokic was literally like...
And Jokic is a cheat code,
he literally backs up twice and he's at the rim.
The rim, yeah. He's gigantic.
It is so funny.
And then
Just do that every time.
And
Why
then
play
last
the
but
game?
not least, the Nets go and face John Morant and the Grizzlies and win that. So the Nets look great. The Nets are playing tonight against the Bulls. I think that's a pretty even matchup. I'd be very interested to see how that ends up. DeRozan isn't on the Bulls anymore. He's on the Kings, I think. So never mind. I don't know how I feel about that matchup anymore.
The odds were pretty even. I think Nets are +1, meaning they're losing, but they're like basically even.
Got you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Nets. We'll see. I don't have the game on behind Dylan like I typically would.
Oh,
but
34-year-old Zach LaVine. No, he's not that old.
But also just the fact, the young guys on the Nets, they look really good. The Nets have a lot of new players that look amazing, and just I think the new big three on the Nets are for sure Cam Thomas, just incredible player. Dennis Schroeder, oof, the German freak, and Nick Claxton. That motherfucker makes plays happen.
I mean, he's 100 mil. He knows how to pass now.
He's the most tenured player on the team with 6 years.
He's the captain, bro.
He is.
He's
Get rid of Ben. I'm sorry. We don't need Ben Simmons.
No,
I really don't think we need
he's
him.
there because he makes a bunch of money and no one would want to pay him
Playing
that money.
so lazy too, but whatever.
That's who he is.
It's another thing. But basketball's back. I'm happy that it's back. It makes me feel good inside. I also forgot how much basketball happens at the same time. That like one day out of the week, there's like 10 games at the same time, and you're like, oh shit, I have to go through all of this, but I missed it because over the summer you're just like, what do I do today? But now I have baseball, so next year that's what I'll do.
You have yeah, but even then, baseball, you're just kind of like, oh,
Cool.
you're just in there.
Listen, background is better than nothing.
Oh,
right?
it's great. Yeah,
Put
yeah.
on some
I love
baseball, play fucking Slay the Spire. I did my first run a while back.
Nice.
I hate it. I don't like it, but I see the I see the appeal. I see it. I beat the first boss.
Oh, nice.
I got to level 2, and then I
the game. Not to go on a tangent, but that game very much like the scaling is very much super easy, really difficult, impossible. Like that. Those are the floors. Like you have to.
I think you just have to prioritize block a lot. But what the fuck do I know?
That's right.
I'm just a basketball fan.
Block and relics, baby.
Yeah.
Same thing. Block.
You mind if I swing this on into something else now?
Let's go.
I wanted to talk about something else that I did last weekend that I kind of wanted to bring up during the baseball discussion because we were watching baseball while we did it. And that is that I'm sad Mr. President's not here with me, but me and Jerry actually had ourselves a poker night. We met up with the typical poker buddies. It was me, Jerry's older brother Andy. It was for his birthday. Met up with our pals Milton and Will, and the 5 of us had a nice little poker night.
I will join you guys next time.
Please do. I think I'm gonna host it.
Mm-hmm.
Will was our dealer. It's kind of funny to say that, not in the context of weed. But he dealt the cards for us because he didn't want to play. So me, Jerry, Andy, and Milton played $25 buy-in. Really good time. I had a good time up until a certain point. Here's my gripe. Only gripe. When you play poker, you have to ante up. That's a very important part.
It's also like it's a little rough with 3 people.
So here,
like Texas Hold'em style poker is better when you have like 6 or 7 people. That way you have people always betting. You have people always involved. So if everyone folds, you still have probably 2 people.
Exactly. And also, I hate to admit it, but I told them there too. I was watching Daniel Negreanu's like master class and also Phil Ivey's, so I learned a thing or two.
You can't say that, man.
I did watch it, and I'm not gonna lie. I was chip leader for the first half of the game.
Okay.
Like I was actually making really great decisions. I would get hands. I knew which ones to play. I knew when to get aggressive. I knew how much to bet in terms of percentages and stuff like that. I know
this is his platinum brain. He was like, I need to make sure I get everything right.
And then it doesn't help that Jerry's been fucking playing Balatro this whole time, so he also has poker brain, and he's just like, yeah. At one point, Jerry just figured if he keeps betting $5 at a time, he'll scare everybody off the table, and he was right. So he just kept getting all this money.
That's what I would have done. That's how I play it.
But fucking long story short,
I mean that's solid, man.
What annoyed me about it is apparently they had this rule where they said we weren't going to ante up until the first player got eliminated. And then we played poker for the entirety of Game 4 of the World Series, and nobody got eliminated. So we played poker for 2.5 hours where we were just trading chips. And I'm like, guys, like, please. And then I finally was like, can we ante up? And we're like, all right, we'll do $1.50 cents a dollar, small blind, big blind. So we go up there, and then finally we start getting, some movement going. But at this point, it's like almost fucking 1 a.m.
Yeah, that's
so by the time we ante up again, Andy literally is like, I gotta go. So all in, just tell me who to give $25 to. And he left. So now at this point, it's just me, Jerry, Milton playing. And we played for like another hour.
Oh my God.
Like it literally got to a point where like,
I'm going home, dude.
There was one hand where I had a pair of kings. So I'm like, I'm playing this shit super aggressively. So I think I played a thing, and Milton had ace-6. So we have like a whole chip pot that's going on. And then on the river, he gets a second ace. So he gets a 3 of a kind aces. I'm like, motherfucker. So he won like 15 of my dollars right then and there. So it just got to a point where I'm playing with like $10 left. But it's so late at night that I'm like, guys, I can't do this anymore. I'm like literally like all in. So I just put up all in, obviously lose. And then here's where I got upset. After I lost, that's when Jerry and Milton were like, all right, you just want to split it? And I'm like, motherfucker, I could have walked out with like $15 or something. But shout outs to Jerry.
They were like, we're not fighting for this. So we stole his money.
Exactly. So fucking
Bobby, I'm like, that's fucked up, man.
It is fucked up, right?
After all of that situation, man, I'm like,
I took it like
I'm
a
mad
man.
I was mad about the beginning, and then you said that part. I was like, yeah, okay.
So this doesn't even sound like a poker. It sounds like who can stay up the longest.
That's exactly what the fuck it was. Jerry got 60, Milton got 40. I lost 25, but I was like, I'm going home at 2 in the fucking morning. We barely played good poker. It's like,
and funny. Also like that's the thing is that you got to have like 6 people. There's always got to be a pretty substantial small blind, big blind, and then you go on. Like,
well, that's even then. Even if it's not that big of a table, even if it's like 4 people, you just have to ante up. And then at the fucking even if you're anteing up every 30 minutes, an hour and a half in, you're gonna be playing like $1, $2. You're gonna get some big bets going on.
Yeah.
But point is, fucking.
So I played dominoes.
That was my gripe. I would much more happier. I can't even fucking speak. That's how irate I am. But I would much prefer to play dominoes. I actually do like playing dominoes a lot. Milton whips my ass when we play though. I don't know what it is. She's been trained. feel like you're gonna be good at dominoes too. You've got a fucking thing. I don't
My
know
grandpa's
math.
really
I'm
good
not
at
good
it.
at math. Just don't let Jerry play it.
Jerry might be dangerous with it.
Yeah, he knows probability and shit. Like he'll probability be good at dominoes. You know what I'm saying? Hit the gong. It's still there. Hey! It's my new favorite joke. I have it saved. The gong sound effect's what it's called.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yo, whatchamacallit. Speaking of gongs and bells, here's my segue.
And the
into
Mighty Duck
this.
Sauce.
Mighty Duck Sauce. I wanted to talk about the Vatican, what they decided to create to basically evangelize this generation.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I can't believe that was real. Like,
It's
you
real.
sent it, and I was like, "There's no way."
It's real.
There's
So
no
yeah,
way.
Just I don't know the whole story or what exactly everything is, but basically throw it up. The Vatican is making these little like anime figures or dolls, like an icon, and they're calling it Luce and Friends, and it translates to light in Italian, basically Luce, and it's these little like evangelizers, like in raincoats, rain boots. They look very like Hello Kitty-esque.
I like it.
And like because they look Hello Kitty-esque and cute and have like little Moses staffs and everything, I feel like unironically they will sell very well, and they will be more like.
I think it's a good idea, honestly.
Like not even sell, because I'm sure that's not what, I don't know if that is, but if their main profit is to profit. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Religion
Hold on.
profiting.
Guys,
off of
I'm
something?
learning their names. So we got there's Luca, there's Faye, we got Zine, like Xin, Sky, and that's it. So
That's crazy.
4 of them. Yeah, apparently
Faye
they're,
is faith
Guys, I
in
mean, this
Spanish.
is just like,
they're mascots for the Vatican Church.
yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
I can see them doing a Hello Kitty collab where it's like they're walking with her. They're basically teaching her what happened to Hello Kitty Jesus.
Oh shit!
They're actually teaching her.
Sorry to cut you off, but speaking of mascots, the Nets have a new mascot. Shout out to Brownstone the Pigeon. I'm gonna throw him up.
Yeah,
It's awesome. Yeah, but anyway,
Brownstone the pigeon.
back to Loose
That's
and
actually
Friends.
kind of fire.
Losing friends.
But yeah, it's
Is it Luce maybe?
I don't know.
Luce.
What's the translation? But I see it actually doing pretty well. As comical as it was, there's people that are like, I'll take 5, like I'll take 50, and it's it was interesting to see. What a time we're to be alive to see that the Vatican making little anime dolls.
I wonder when the cartoon comes out.
I mean, I just think that they're more cartoony than you would expect, you know?
the church.
No, the actual dolls themselves.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, they've always made figurines. There's fucking cherubs and
Oh,
shit. They just
shit.
don't look like that.
Yeah.
I was just like visualizing a priest running off a cliff and holding a sign like pray and then falling, like cartoony church.
I'm just no,
But like, you know, like I'm sure people saw it and that's the shock factor. It's not they made a figurine that's a mascot. It's, that looks like Asian, like, you know.
it looks
Japanese.
cool. So imagine like all these Renaissance photos of like the cherubs and everything, they're all gonna be replaced with anime girls. Is that what you're telling me?
I like it, honestly.
That's this generation's of modern
we stole
Catholic art.
stole lo mein and made it pasta. I mean, well, you know.
Was lo mein not pasta before?
No, I'm saying lo mein was Chinese, and then Italians had trading routes, stole it from, and that's how they had pasta.
Oh, so we got pasta from lo mein.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah, shit. Look at
Asian.
you.
That's why like the skinny noodles, the vermicelli noodles.
Gotcha,
Vermicelli
gotcha.
noodles are actually just Thai noodles because Thai
Yeah.
people made them first.
Gotcha.
And then when the Roman Empire expanded, you know, guys,
Is the pasta podcast.
tune into my history podcast.
No, yeah, fuck.
about where I explain the trading of the Silk Road.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
man. Fucking also just like that. That's also the thing with pizza too. Like Columbus. No, it wasn't Columbus. I think it was Marco
pizza?
Polo. Like went to a different country and found pizza and then brought it back to Italy.
Yes.
It's like originally an Asian cuisine or something.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
believe it is. I believe it's like Central Asia by
Yeah.
like Kazakhstan, or it might be that he saw like Middle Eastern like flatbread with cheese on it, and then he took that back and was like, "Yo,
Look what they're
This
doing
is
over here.
ours now, all right?
because I remember I
We're
was
gonna be known for this.
No, I
Throw
was-
mom's sauce on this shit.
I was watching a video. I was watching a video about this, and it was like a Roman Empire reenactor or something, and he's eating just like mush, and he's like, "This is what people ate back in the day. We didn't have fucking pasta yet." You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
mush.
Shit would have been way better if they did, man.
Yeah.
Pasta makes everything better.
Mhm.
But yeah,
I have a rant.
I think the Pope eats a lot of pasta.
The Pope?
Yeah. He's there.
this Pope's dope.
Spaghetti and meatballs.
Does he sound like that?
I don't know.
They're all Italian.
Yeah, I like that idea. Even though the last one was
they're
German.
Vaticanese, all right? Let's get it right, all right?
Anyway, what's your tangent?
Oh, okay, yes. So I have a little bit of a rant. Not really a rant, but it's just like...
He's angry, guys.
So we're on a podcast, right?
We are?
We are, right? With the microphones and everything, right? There's a certain thing that when people go on a podcast, and this is big, I know it has more to do with like the editing and how reels are made and stuff like that, but every motherfucker goes on a podcast and tries to sound like, you know, that they're like this poet, like they're like this like greater than the like.
I see what you mean.
I am talking down on you. Like I am this like higher brow human being who has this wealth of knowledge, and I am passing it on to you.
Well, I don't think that I can interpolate the exact ideologies that you're portraying right
exactly.
now.
So I remember this.
So
This comes from a lot of different people. One I can think of, right? I remember I ranted about this before. Enemy of the show, Rob Dyrdek.
Yes.
That, you know, now he's like, he always talks about stuff. He's like, this is the way that you have to plan out your day. Like he's like, I'm going to Rob Dyrdek to teach me how to live life. Like,
yeah.
I have to eat breakfast at 5:45 in the morning.
It's like you have to meticulously tie your DC sneakers.
Rob Dyrdek told me that I had to eat breakfast at 5:45 instead of 6:45. That way I gain an extra hour of my day, which is not how fucking time works. You're just sleep deprived, and that's unhealthy.
That's cool.
But there's all these people that do that. There's this one guy, I forget his fucking name, but Rob Cardry is the comedian. I don't know if you know him.
The bald guy.
Yeah. And I think I put it in the chat. He made a reel about the guy like basically talking about how cooking is stupid. This dude's basically the replacement of Sigma male, Andrew Tate vibes. And he's like, my dad told me, he's like, why don't I cook? Like who? A fucking idiot? He's like, break this down. I can do one thing, or I can go out to eat, have a beautiful meal. It's just me and my girlfriend. It's pretty cheap, right? We'll have alcohol at home. But if I eat food, right, I have to go call my assistant, go in the elevator, get in my car, drive to Publix, go shop at Publix, wait in line with all these fucking people, go back in my car, drive home. And I still have to cook. I have to prepare the food. I have to season. And I'm like, is this guy just breaking down his fucking day?
This guy just complained about being a human being.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, this guy's like,
I have to wake up.
And he kept saying, he's like, I'm going to cook like an idiot. I'm like, this guy's not winning over anybody. He's making an enemy with the world. Everyone fucking cooks, man.
Everyone has to do what you're doing, buddy.
Everyone does that.
Can I just add that, like, I laughed when you were describing all these things, because why do the people who do things like that always have to input? And I'm with my girlfriend.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know why we have to think that podcast has to be a 3-hour episode where we break down every little. So I went, like, imagine if Bobby did this, where Bobby was like, yeah, so we went here, or even Joey, if you did that, where Joey was like, okay, yeah, so we got in the car, we sat in the highway, we sat in traffic, then finally we got at like at least your, like, you know, your story is funny and like a third of the time, and you're also not being misogynistic and, you know, all the other nonsense. What, Bobby? What?
It was just the blunt, honest
word. Yeah, words.
It was. I said it was much better in a third of the time. Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Oh my god!
And now we're going down to it where it's like I was watching a podcast with Mr. Fred Durst, friend of the show, right?
Yeah. Good friend.
And he was talking about his music, and he's like, I was appearing at a live performance, and already like not talking like Fred Durst, and he's like, I asked all the people in the crowd, I did a poll, I said, who here is seeing their first Limp Bizkit show, and everyone rose their hand, because there seems to be like an effervescent stream of hip hop that runs through the veins of our music.
Sounds like Frederick Durst.
I'm like, is this Frederick Durst the third? Like, who is this? And he's just talking about that. And I'm like, bro, you rapped over a corn instrumental. Like, what are we doing?
For those of you who have never been to a Limp Bizkit show, this next song is informally called Break Stuff, but it's actually called Breaking Stuff. But we're gonna play the informal version tonight.
And
oh my god!
And we just and I don't know. I think it just comes from like the Joe Rogan, and like all of the biggest podcasts are very like highbrow. Like, not John won't say Joe Rogan's highbrow, but like back in the day, Joe Rogan, he would have like scientists and sleep experts, and this guy's an expert on fossils, and you'd be like, oh shit, I'm learning stuff. You know, it'd be cool and all like. But now it's just turned into like Mark Wahlberg's telling me how to plan my day. And I'm like, man, Mark Wahlberg, I really don't want to listen to you talk about your day or how to have my day.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm pretty hung up on soft-spoken Fred Durst now. That's the funniest thing to me, dude. Like he's just
really funny, right?
Like he's at a concert. He's like wiping his sweat off. He's like, man, that was a fun one, guys. I'm really happy you guys are out here. I've been playing with Limp for over 20 years, and it's an absolute experience. Anyway, let's get to the next one. Keep rolling. Like he just sings like a fucking monster. But he's the most soft-spoken,
and it's true because a
guy.
lot of like people, like a lot of like metal artists and stuff like that are like that. They are pretty like like if you ever watch an interview with Death Grips, which is like a very like experimental band, it's like you find out that like they meditate on the weekends, and the lead singer used to be a portrait painter, and they're just like fucking screaming and breaking stuff on stage, and you're like, this is not, but it makes sense. I mean,
totally,
it kind of does make sense. So at the end of the day, guys, we are not here to preach to you.
Yeah, no,
I'm not here to tell you, that cooking is stupid, or that
we're here to make fun of those guys.
In order to get women, you have to be disrespectful to them, which is like fresh and fit vibes. Which are they still doing that? I hope they're not. I feel like they are. And
I don't know what those guys are doing.
I hope they're not doing well. Let's just say that. We'll end it on that.
We're just here for the funnies and to tell you guys how our days went, because other people in our lives don't care as much. So we do it here.
That's true.
In actuality, this shit is just like group therapy, We just get around. It really grinds my gears. Mark Wahlberg. And, and then we all leave this a little bit calmer.
I was able to.
We let it out here at the
I just
the
didn't
table.
watch too many reels about highbrow podcast people. Which, did you know, guys, that podcast comes from iPod?
Yeah, this guy created the word.
Yes.
Steve Jobs.
So we had a chance to pivot from the word, and we just decided, no, this is the word now.
That's kind of crazy.
And now the human language is just like a bunch of stuff that has no real like origin. It's just we say it because we say it.
Steve Jobs created the term because the whole idea was that they were broadcasted to your iPod podcast. So, and then he died. So now we're
stuck with
Innovator.
Yeah.
Podcast.
Yeah, that low key. Honestly speaking, in the long term, that might have been his greatest invention.
Oh,
that
100%.
Singular word or idea.
Yeah. Completely. I mean, like, I don't want to say revolutionized radio, but like television became streaming, radio became podcasting. Yeah, that's kind of a big media. Yeah.
Fucking. I have one last thing I want to talk about. This is gonna be. It's kind of a trilogy at this point. So this is the third and final installment of Bobby Rosario reviews Agatha All Along.
Oh, okay. This is interesting because I haven't watched there's new episodes, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I have not watched those, but I did watch up until where you finished last.
Okay.
So you're allowed to spoil it because I have my own opinions about the show now.
I want to watch it.
Okay.
But you could spoil it.
Thank you for the clearance. Sounds good.
Okay.
I will throw the alert when we're there, but we're not there yet.
Okay.
If you remember, I spoke about the show for the first time 7 or so weeks ago when the show actually came out. Gave my first kind of spiel about what I thought of the first 2 episodes. And then I did a little halfway check-in a few weeks back where I said that I was not feeling the vibes. There was a pretty bad episode halfway through, which I still hold on to. Episode 5, the CGI was a little weird. The shit going on in that episode was strange. You've seen it now, right? This is the episode with the Ouija board.
Yes.
Strange episode.
Yes, after the singing one.
But then the episode after, I did say was pretty cool with the backstory of Teen and what's going on in his life, how he came to be, the whole spiel that
good episode.
He was. And I already put spoiler last
honestly,
time,
those episodes like that really like not
the look back episodes
are like always the best because it's like it not only reminds me of Lost weirdly enough, but it feels like you really see like their like plot chops. Like they're like, oh, they can tell a fucking story.
So hold on to that,
okay?
Because that gets revisited in a second.
Okay.
I'm just gonna come out right off the bat and say that when I started the series, it was probably like a 7 out of 10 for me. Halfway through, it's probably like anywhere from a 5 to a 6. And I can confidently say now, having finished Agatha All Along, I'm going to put it at an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Don't think it's that bad at all. I think, it's a little curve. It's probably kind of like okay, we're having a good time. Oh, this is poor. Oh, it's coming back here. Okay, levels out. So that's kind of the spiel with that. But anyways, Now I can go ahead and say spoiler alert. Oh, look at that graphic. And this is gonna be my take on Agatha all along. First and foremost, I want to go ahead and talk about Aubrey Plaza's character because I thought what they did with her was really, really cool. At the beginning of the series, she's simply named Rio, and it's revealed that she's a green witch, which basically means that she has the power to manipulate like the elements and nature and stuff like that. But in episode 6 or so, it gets revealed that Rio is actually not Rio. She's Death. So we actually have an actress who plays Death in the Marvel universe, which is kind of cool because in the comics, Death is a character. She has a famous relationship with Deadpool. It's like this whole tumultuous thing where they can never be together because he can never die. Thanos is in love with her as well. So I think it's pretty cool that we finally have that character personified, and I thought it was really cool with how they made her look because she looks fucking sick. Also found out today that whole look is actually practical with makeup and stuff. So
that's fire.
More credit to that. I'll throw it up here so you can check it out. So that was pretty cool. The other thing that was dope, I mentioned it in the last episode that, or rather a couple episodes back when I was doing the midway point, that they reveal that the kid who's named Teen for the beginning of the series is actually Billy Maximoff, the son of Wanda. And they reveal how that whole spiel happened is apparently a kid died and Billy's soul basically went into that kid and he like assumed his body and continued to live his life. And apparently you find out that this is like an ability that Tommy, aka, or rather Billy, aka Wiccan, has, because Wiccan is a superhero name. And towards the end of the series, Agatha essentially helps Billy get what he wanted out of this whole spiel, which was to find his brother Billy, who is Speed. That's like another superhero. And Agatha basically helps him throughout this way where she basically acknowledges that he has the powers to do this and basically helps him to find a body out there that she can put his brother into. And then at the same time, it just so happens that there's like a boy who got pushed by his friends off a bridge and they're like pranking him, but he's like gonna drown. So at the last second, he's like, am I killing this boy so my brother can live? And then he does it and then like disappears because he got like what he wanted out of it. So that's kind of like the whole spiel. And then finally, towards the end of the episode, we find out that Billy comes back in the whole Wiccan outfit, which I also have to say was really good. Looks exactly how he looks in the comics, was fucking awesome. And that whole spiel was dope. Also considering that Marvel's very much doing a Young Avengers movie or series in the future, Wiccan is a very important character to have for that. And now they have like all the heavy hitters set up. So they're definitely going to do some cool stuff in the Young Avengers department. Now more story stuff that I want to really get into and what saved it for me, if I have to be honest. Number one, which I think is less important but still cool, and it kind of goes back to what you were saying, is those backstory episodes. The very final episode, we actually get backstory for Agatha, and we actually get to see what life was like for her in the 1700s, you know? We actually get to finally see her son, which is referenced throughout the entire series, and we're led to believe like halfway through that she gave up her son for death to get a hold of the Darkhold, which is like the big scary dark magic book. But in actuality, we find out that Agatha's child was marked for death as like right before he was going to be born. But she asked Death, Aubrey Plaza, to give her like more time. So she said, all I can offer you is time. So basically he was able to live for like 6-7 years, but the catch was Agatha had to kill other witches to get the power to keep him alive. So there was just one day where like he went off because he was part of it, but you know, he was so innocent that she would never tell him the whole reason why she had to kill witches. She would just tell him something like, cause they're bad or blah, blah, blah. But one day he just like goes off the beaten path and doesn't get a witch for her. And she's like, it'll be okay. And he ends up passing away in the night. And that's how he actually died. And after that, Agatha becomes really evil. But here's where it gets really cool and kind of interesting. So you were watching this show. You know that the whole point of this show is that the witches are going down the road, right?
Yeah. The witches.
Yeah, fucking. And hold on to that, because that was another thing that annoyed the shit out of me.
Yeah, I know. You're talking about the last time.
But long story short, what was interesting is Mildred's biggest criticism about this show was set design. She hated how the road looked.
Okay.
But apparently there was a reason for it, and it turned all of her opinions around. If you remember the whole spiel in WandaVision,
yes,
you remember that the whole town of Westview is a whole basically big spell/illusion that's being put on by Wanda. And we find that out as the stories are going along. Well, we come to find out that the Witch's Road doesn't actually even exist. It was a
Nice.
con put on by Agatha in the 1700s. The song wasn't written by Alice's mother. It was written by Agatha and her son. And after her son died, she used the song and the promise of the witch's road to lure other witches and kill them to steal their powers.
Nice.
So at the beginning of the series, where she gathered the coven of witches to go down the road, her full intentions were to kill everybody right then and there.
Nice.
Billy created the road in his head, just like his mom created
Wow.
Westview with her head. So yeah, all of that stuff, all the shit that they go through
Is just
Bill.
created in his head.
Exactly. And that's also to go and show you how powerful fucking Billy is. And what's also cool is I set that up at the beginning. I told her, I was like, if they're actually making this kid Wiccan, who he's
I mean,
supposed to be,
when I kind of noticed that, like, not to cut you off, but like when they like get onto the road, I was like, this looks pretty shit. Like I was like, it's just fucking that. You know what I mean? It doesn't really add anything. It's not magical.
Yeah.
Half the time they're singing that fucking song, so it's like it doesn't really mean much to like look around. But that makes so much fucking sense now.
But yeah, the best way I could put it is like the way that the overall story was told is they waited for like those last puzzle pieces to drop so that you could see the whole picture. And you know, looking back on it, good show it in its entirety. It keeps you latched on to the very end. I thought it was a really good story, and for those Marvel nerds out there who keep up with like the production of it and stuff, this is actually just the second series in a trilogy that's being made by the person who made WandaVision and Agatha all along. Wow. So the final series is probably going to come out in like 2-3 years, and that one's called Vision Quest, and it's going to be about Vision and what's going on with him and that whole spiel.
That's cool.
So that whole family will be tied together, and hopefully we'll be able to see Billy Maximoff again in the Young Avengers with all those other people, Ironheart and fucking Thor's daughter and
Billy
shit.
Madison?
What happened?
Billy Madison?
Billy Madison. He's going to be
Billy
there.
Madison's
He's
gonna
gonna
be there.
So Agatha all along is going to get a fat 8 out of 10, and I still suggest you guys watch it, especially
to
you. You
watch
like
it.
the spooky stuff.
I
so.
do like the
pretty
spooky,
cool.
and hearing that Aubrey Plaza's death sounds really dope.
Some cool visuals there, too. It's really cool. Also, real quick, big shout outs to the actor who plays Teen. He's probably like the shining star of that series. He's very, very good. But yeah, that's it's all I had to say about that. Now we could say I was gonna say we can sing songs, but we can talk about songs
You can.
with Jam Yam
to sing them
and
this episode.
Slam of the Week. I'll go real quick and just say your boy's been watching a lot of the Muppets lately. I don't know what the fuck
I'm
that's
getting
about.
shown Muppets
fucking
too.
love the Muppets.
I love the Muppets too. It's just
Fucking
been a
love
while.
the Muppets. I mean, even then, I still really haven't
I'm
watched
getting
the
Muppets
movies.
Part of it
really
was because I watched a Family Guy episode that parodies the famous Robin song. Halfway down the stairs is a stair that I sit. But that's not the song that I'm picking. The reason I'm even mentioning it is because the song was almost Rainbow Connection by fucking Kermit the Frog, but it's not. The actual song of the week is going to go to a young man named Tyler, the Creator,
Nice.
who just released a brand new album
did.
that is very well produced.
It is very well produced.
But this song is not on that album.
Wow.
This song is called Come On, Let's Go with Nigo. I guess that's how you pronounce it. But it's actually a pretty funny song how it's literally about like waiting for your girl to finish getting ready. So like the whole song is like, fucking doing your hair, waiting downstairs, get in the car, we're gonna get stuck in traffic, I gotta get gas. But he makes it sound good, you know, it's a dope song.
Why is that a pretty good Tyler, the Creator?
I don't know.
Because you have like that rat, you know,
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Jasper. All right.
You want my song? I think I kind of don't remember what it was. It was playing in the background on my Discover Weekly, but I think it's Graves Like Roses. The song is called Graves by Like Roses. It was a pretty dope song.
I know that song.
Is that why you stared at me when you heard it playing a little bit?
No. I just stared at you because my phone was
Because you like
my phone was loading and it didn't show me what the song was. So
because you only like a percentage of my speech.
Have you heard that song, Broken Things, Lie to Me?
I think I have.
again, what I said wasn't a
That's
snitch.
their-
I
that's
said
their
you were
best
much
song.
shorter than the guy on TikTok, which is true.
No, I
What the fuck are we even talking about?
We said I didn't like his stories. I love his stories.
What stories?
Anyways, my yam is The Body's
Carajo.
Worth by Gleemer. This guy makes good music. The song has like shoegazy grunge elements.
That's all I had to hear.
Cute.
All right.
RSTUV.
Fucking Jerry.
3, 4, 4, 5.
Jerry, what's BAM of the week? Well, Barry, BAM of the week is gonna go to what does he like? He likes Future
Denzel
song
Curry.
featuring Denzel Curry and Tame Impala, and it's called Waves of
milk.
There you go. Thanks, Jerry. Really appreciate that.
You know,
I don't know why Jerry looks like my hand for whatever reason.
I'm gonna make that song now.
Waves of milk.
I'm gonna make it with AI.
Please do.
I'm gonna make a Tame Impala featuring Denzel Curry
And Future.
Future just does ad libs. He's not actually in the
Oh
song.
shit, that's amazing.
Oh my god,
Guys, thanks for tuning in for
Waves of
episode
milk.
212 of the Joystick Show. I hope we were able to transmit sound to your earwaves. What? That's not how that goes.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Sure.
Kinda.
Audiology, baby.
Steve Jobs.
Thanks for watching. We really appreciate you. It'd also help us if you could like, if you could subscribe. You don't have to, but it helps us. You know, we're not gonna press you or anything. Stay tuned for some cool stuff we got coming in the near future. We're cooking. We're not literally, but hopefully literally soon. But we're also just getting some content. We're brewing it in
Stirring
the
the
cauldron.
pot.
That holiday passed already. Fuck.
I stewed the pot.
We're stuffing the cornucopia.
Oh.
It's only a quarter stuffed right now, or a third stuffed. I don't know how fucking.
You
these
don't know
work.
percentages.
The point is, shout outs to you guys. Really appreciate y'all. And we are now going to end this episode.
I'm gonna eat my microphone.
Do it.